Here's an uncomfortable truth nobody taught you in school. Your paycheck isn't designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to keep you showing up on Monday. People earn $150,000 a year and still feel broke by the 28th. That's not a budgeting problem. That's a design flaw in how we think about money. My name's David, and over the past year, I've been digging into a question most people never stop to ask. Why do high earners still feel trapped? Why does every raise seem to disappear, every bonus get absorbed, and every new income level somehow feel normal? If you've ever wondered why your bank balance never reflects how hard you work, this video is for you. Because the problem isn't your discipline, it isn't your motivation, and it definitely isn't your ability to hustle. It's the structure. Today, we're breaking down why paychecks are designed to keep you dependent, why ownership, not income, is the real wealth engine, and how a simple 20-60-10-10 system can flip the game in your favor. If you're ready to stop renting your life from your employer and start building something that compounds without your constant effort, hit subscribe and let's get into it.
The economy doesn't reward hustle, it rewards ownership. Pull up any wealth ranking. You won't see Employee of the Month anywhere. You'll see founders, shareholders, real estate holders, people who built or bought things that print money whether they're awake or not. Elon Musk didn't become the richest man alive because Tesla gave him a generous bonus. He became wealthy because he owns pieces of companies that multiply in value. Here's where most people get it twisted. They confuse income with wealth. Income is the money that stops when you stop. Wealth is the money that keeps moving without your hands on the wheel. If your entire financial survival depends on Friday's direct deposit, you're not building anything. You're leasing your lifestyle from your boss, and the rent is due every 2 weeks. The real transformation begins when you flip the question. Stop asking, how can I earn more? Start asking, what can I own? Because here's the harsh reality. Until you own something, something owns you. Your mortgage, your lease, your minimum payments, that's the hamster wheel, and no raise will ever get you off it. Now here's why motivation and discipline eventually collapse. They demand constant mental warfare. Every single day becomes a battlefield. Save or spend, invest or enjoy, sacrifice now or regret later. That's mentally draining, and eventually you crack. Systems, however, don't negotiate, they execute. The people with real wealth don't have superhuman self-control. They have infrastructure. They automate their finances, allocate before emotions get involved, make one decision and let the machinery handle the rest.
That's exactly what the 20-60-10-10 framework delivers. It's not about chasing a bigger income tomorrow. It's about commanding the income you already have with surgical precision. 20% flows directly into growth. Investments, skill development, anything that multiplies over time. 60% handles necessities, your actual cost of living stripped of lifestyle inflation. 10% builds your fortress, emergency reserves that shield you when life throws curveballs. And 10% fuels enjoyment, pure, guilt-free spending that prevents burnout and keeps you human. Here's the beauty of this framework. It works whether you bring home $2,000 or $20,000 monthly. The dollar amounts shift, but the architecture remains bulletproof. Compare this to what most people actually do. They spend whatever feels right, hope something remains for savings, and treat investing like a fantasy for someday. The 20-60-10-10 method reverses everything. Your future gets funded first, your living expenses come second, your safety net comes third, your pleasures come last. This isn't deprivation, it's strategic allocation with purpose. Let's dig into that first 20%, because this is where your financial destiny actually gets written. Not at your job, not in your annual review, but in what your money accomplishes after it lands in your account. That 20% separates the person grinding until 70 from the person exploring options at 45. Pay yourself first isn't motivational fluff, it's an operational command. Because here's what happens when you promise to invest whatever's left over at month's end. Nothing survives. Human nature expands spending to consume every available dollar. The only countermeasure? Remove the money before your brain even registers it exists. Schedule automatic transfers the moment your paycheck arrives. Make wealth building the default setting, not an optional add-on.
And understand this crucial principle. Time demolishes amount every single time. Someone starts at 25, invests $500 monthly for just 10 years, then completely stops. Another person waits until 35, then invests $500 monthly for 30 straight years. Who wins? The person who started earlier, despite contributing far less total money. That's compound interest working its magic. Starting today with pocket change beats starting perfectly 5 years from now. Now let's talk about where that 20% actually lands. Your first priority, broad market exposure through index funds and ETFs. This is where the majority of your growth money should live. You're not gambling on whether one CEO makes smart decisions. You're betting on capitalism itself. And historically, that bet pays off. The S&P 500 has delivered roughly 10% annual returns over decades. Your goal isn't to outperform hedge fund managers. Your goal is to ride the market's natural escalator consistently, year after year. But here's where most financial advice completely misses the point. The highest returning investment on the planet isn't sitting on any stock exchange. It's sitting between your ears. High-income skills are the ultimate wealth accelerator. Copywriting, sales, software development, video production, digital marketing, data analysis. Run the math yourself. A $2,000 course that adds $20,000 to your annual earning power delivers a 1,000% return in year one alone. Find me a mutual fund that promises that. Your skills are the one investment that can't crash, can't be taxed until deployed, and compounds every single year you use them. Real estate exposure becomes accessible through REITs, real estate investment trusts. You collect dividend checks generated from rental income, benefit from property appreciation, and avoid midnight plumbing emergencies and problem tenants. For those with established foundations and genuine risk tolerance, individual stocks and online businesses offer asymmetric upside. But the cardinal rule? Never invest in what you cannot explain. If you can't articulate exactly why an asset holds value, you're not investing, you're gambling with extra steps. Here's the critical piece about automation. Financial knowledge is almost worthless without execution. You can memorize every investment strategy ever created and still end up broke. Brilliance doesn't build wealth. Consistent action does. The moment your paycheck hits your account, money should already be moving. Not when you remember, not when you feel inspired. Automatically. Set up scheduled transfers from checking directly into investment accounts. The money vanishes before you can mentally spend it. But here's where people stumble. Transferring money isn't the same as investing it. The transfer must trigger the purchase. Automate the entire chain reaction. Income deposits, money migrates, assets acquired. Zero human intervention required. Now let's address the real multiplier, earning more. Wealthy individuals don't lose sleep over clipping coupons. They lose sleep over increasing their income by 50, 100, 300%. Simple math. A perfectly disciplined system operating on $4,000 monthly is respectable. That same system operating on $10,000 monthly becomes transformational. The architecture stays identical. The results multiply dramatically. Next, that's 60%. This is where lifestyle inflation quietly destroys more financial progress than bad investments ever could. Picture this. Someone gets a $10,000 raise. Within months, they've moved to a pricier apartment, leased a newer car, upgraded their entire lifestyle. Their income increased, expenses increased proportionally, and somehow they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Looking wealthy and actually being wealthy are completely different games. That person cruising in a leased luxury vehicle with barely $400 in savings, they're not winning the money game. They're performing in it. The 60% rule forces brutal honesty. What are genuinely essential expenses? Housing, basic groceries, reliable transportation, utilities, insurance. Full stop. Everything beyond that is a want cleverly disguised as a need by marketing and social pressure. Living below your means isn't deprivation, it's strategic financial warfare. The two biggest drains? Housing and transportation. People max out their mortgage pre-approval, finance vehicles they can't truly afford, then wonder why they can't build savings. Real numbers. Bringing home $5,000 monthly means your essential expenses ceiling is $3,000. If rent eats $1,800 and your car payment is $500, you've blown through 77% of your budget before buying groceries or paying utilities. You're not on a wealth-building path. You're trapped. Start with strategic downsizing. A moderately smaller place slashes hundreds from rent. Skip the shiny new car. A well-maintained used vehicle for $12,000 serves you for 10 years. That $40,000 financed SUV? After interest, you've paid $50,000 for a depreciating asset. But invest that same money with 8% returns, you'd have approximately $73,000. You're not choosing between cars, you're choosing between temporary status and genuine financial independence. Your first 10%, the stability fund, prevents catastrophic decisions. One unexpected car repair shouldn't spiral into credit card debt. One medical bill shouldn't erase 6 months of disciplined saving. This money is armor. Calculate your target by listing every essential monthly expense, then multiplied by 6. If essentials run $2,500 monthly, your target sits at $15,000. That's 6 months of breathing room. Where should it live? High-yield savings accounts offering 4 to 5% annually. Completely liquid, zero volatility, protected. Build it through automatic transfers. Whether $50 or $500 monthly, consistency beats amount every time. And when you dip into this fund, replenishing it becomes your top priority, before streaming subscriptions, before dining out, before everything. Your final 10%. This is what makes the system sustainable long-term. Cut too aggressively and the entire system collapses. Extreme deprivation doesn't create wealth. It creates emotional rebellion. This freedom fund is non-negotiable, kept in a separate account, psychologically distinct. When your income increases, your guilt-free spending scales up automatically. Concert tickets, quality restaurants, hobbies, weekend getaways, whatever lights you up. Zero justification needed, zero guilt permitted. Here's the truth. Experiences outlive possessions every time. A memorable dinner becomes a story you'll tell for years. That latest gadget becomes tomorrow's clutter. When you've already earmarked 10% exclusively for enjoyment, something remarkable happens. The guilt vanishes. You stop destructive compensatory spending, those random impulse purchases that don't bring real satisfaction. Every dollar has intention behind it. Now picture where this system takes you. You're growing exponentially. That 20% compounds relentlessly while your skills multiply your earning potential. You're genuinely protected. Unexpected expenses become minor inconveniences, not financial emergencies. You maintain consistency effortlessly because you're not white-knuckling through years of misery. You're enjoying life right now while simultaneously constructing your future freedom. You accumulate wealth invisibly. No social media flexing required. Real wealth has nothing to do with appearances and everything to do with choices. The freedom to decline opportunities that don't serve you. The capability to take calculated risks without fear. The option to pursue work because it fulfills you, not because bills are threatening. That's what this system constructs, not through lottery wins or overnight miracles, but through small, consistent decisions that compound inevitably over time. Stick to this framework, and staying broke literally becomes impossible. The math won't allow it. If this video shifted something in how you think about money, tap that like button. And if you're serious about making financial decisions that actually multiply over time, subscribe now.
Thanks for investing your time here. Now go build something that lasts.